New developments in the case of a missing teen. The girl's biological mother is now speaking out. Why investigators are raising their eyebrows even more.
And it is getting hot out here in Battleship Park, but not because of all this humidity. People have already started to smoke their ribs for the very first Port City Rib Fest. We'll have all the details coming up.
Higher temperatures and higher humidity certainly a theme as we take a look at the forecast. And next week, an increasing chance of thunderstorms. Carolina in the Morning starts now.
In high definition, where news comes first. This is WECT's Carolina in the Morning.
And good Friday morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Bob Townsend.
And I'm Kim Ratcliffe. Finally Friday. And first alert meteorologist Eric Davis saying it is going to be getting much warmer.
Yeah, so all the heat and humidity we did not have earlier this week, Eric, it looks like it is coming back in earnest.
Feel it out there already.
That's right. It is really coming back in a big way. It's hard to believe it was just a few days ago. Temperatures were in the mid to upper 60s. Now, well, it's in the upper 70s, and the humidity levels are very, very high, and that's why we think some spots it's going to feel like it's over 100 later today. A live view from the First Alert Battleship camera. Looks like at least we're going to have a pretty nice sunrise and not quite as much haze or fog as what we saw about 24 hours ago. But take a look at the humidity levels, the feels like forecast. This is when you factor in both the temperature and the humidity. It's going to feel like it's 98 degrees in Wilmington later on this afternoon, and we may even feel hotter than that. Look at the triple-digit heat index values as we head into Sunday. So as we take a look at the commute forecast, 78 degrees starting off, partly cloudy skies, a humid start to the day, and it looks like some isolated thunderstorms later today. A yellow light because of that. High temperatures near 90 degrees. We'll have the complete First Alert forecast coming up.
All right, Eric, thanks very much. We are hearing more this morning from friends as they continue to mourn the loss of a man that was well known by many right here in our community. Scott Newell, better known by his family and friends as Scotty B, died tragically Wednesday of this week. Port City police say he was doing some maintenance work on a car when it rolled on top of him. A friend of Scott says he always brought people together.
If you met someone new downtown, chances are you can go, oh, you know Scotty B? Yeah, I know Scotty B. And then you were instantly best friends with this other person you've just met because of Scotty B.
And friends are saying that Noel was celebrating his son's 5th birthday on Wednesday, the same day he passed away. Kim.
This morning, we're learning more about a girl who's been missing from Rowan County since 2011. Erica Parsons' brother reported her missing last week, and investigators are looking for her. Her adoptive parents say Erica isn't missing. In an on-camera interview with our sister station in Charlotte, they say Erica is in Asheville with her biological grandmother.
It's been a year and a half. Why did you not call the police?
Because she's not missing. She's at Nan's house. And the last time we talked to Erica in February 2012, she was fine.
Investigators are not convinced that's the story. The Department of Social Services has taken custody of Casey and Sandy Parsons' other 2 children. Meanwhile, Erica Parsons' biological mother, Carolyn, is coming forward in response to that interview. She says she's beyond upset about the teen's mysterious disappearance and that Erica can't be with her grandmother because her grandmother has been dead for 5 years. Carolyn Parsons says the last time she saw Erica was in January 2011, but lost contact after that.
We have some new video this morning of where investigators found the body of Gabby Swainson. She's the 16-year-old from Columbia, South Carolina, who disappeared 1 year ago. Last night, investigators say that Freddie Grant told them where the girl's body is buried. Now, he's the man long suspected of kidnapping Swainson. Authorities spent the night digging for her remains in a site in Kershaw County, South Carolina. Investigators searched the same area last year, right after Gabby Swainson disappeared. They even found some duct tape nearby with the teen's blood on it.
It kills us. It kills us because we failed to find her, even though we could not have saved her life when she was buried. It hurts all of us to know that many people walked that area. Many people looked in the exact same place.
Meanwhile, Freddie Grant is now awaiting trial on charges of kidnapping the teen. We'll stay on top of the story, of course, and bring you any new developments on that.
Well, right now, manhunt's expanded to 4 states as well as Mexico and Canada, and police are looking for this man, James DiMaggio. They say he abducted a 16-year-old girl after leaving her mother and possibly her younger brother dead in a burning home in California. Police are also now saying that they believe DiMaggio may have homemade explosives and his car may be booby-trapped.
We have a health alert coming out of Fayetteville this morning to tell you about after officials at Fort Bragg said that a school employee has been infected with tuberculosis. The Cumberland County Health Department was notified about 2 weeks ago, now required to investigate the case. And they tell us that as many as 18 people may have been exposed to the person with TB. Tuberculosis, a contagious bacterial lung disease that can be spread through the air.
I'm Bob Bonner in the Live Alert Center with the latest on that military plane crash in Somalia. We'll begin this hour with that update. The crash killing 4 of the 6 crew members on board. According to online reports, the other 2 crew members, though, have been found alive. Their condition not yet released. The plane reportedly burst into flames just after landing. It's believed the cargo contained ammunition and other explosives, which contributed to the ferocity of the flames that took emergency personnel a long time to contain. The plane belonged to the Ethiopian Air Force, was carrying weapons for a peacekeeping mission in that part of the country. Again, the 2 crew members that were missing reportedly found alive, but their condition unknown. Bob?
Well, this morning, at least a dozen people are dead from a drone attack in Yemen. Yemen now on high alert after authorities revealed a plot by al-Qaeda to target foreign embassies and international shipping lanes in the Red Sea. The U.S. and Great Britain have all evacuated embassy staff following that threat. Hundreds in Brazil demanding the impeachment of Rio State Governor over claims of corruption. Demonstrators holding up signs and chanting outside the City Council and Legislative Assembly buildings yesterday in Rio, and at one point protesters breaking into the Assembly building. Police there had to use pepper spray, forcing them out. Protests have also sprouted outside numerous government buildings in Brazil over the past few weeks.
More than 1,400 firemen continue to battle the wildfire that's burning out of control in Southern California. Take a look at this video. It is new from overnight. Officials say the so-called Silver Fire has burned 14,000 acres and is only 20% contained. 26 homes have been destroyed. Approximately 1,800 residents and campers have had to evacuate. 5 firefighters and 1 civilian have been injured.
Time for your first alert forecast at 6:07. We've got a picture we want to share with you right now. And by the way, you can always share your pictures with us by emailing them at pics@wect.com. This is a picture taken up around Camp Lejeune yesterday. A very impressive, what we call cumulonimbus clouds, some impressive towering cumulus clouds. And we did see at least a few isolated thunderstorms across southeastern North Carolina yesterday, some kind of slow-moving storms. And that will probably be the case again today. You probably have about a 2 in 3 chance of not seeing rain today. But if you happen to catch a thunderstorm, you might pick up some local heavy rain. Speaking of rainfall, there's a little bit of it on the First Alert digital Doppler, even some heavier showers right now. Southern Brunswick and southern portions of New Hanover County. You can see right around Bald Head Island some pretty heavy rain right now as a couple of showers clip southern New Hanover and Brunswick County. Down around the Fort Fish area, it looks like a little bit of rain falling there. Better chance, though, it looks like, of those showers and thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon hours. 77 in Wilmington, Jacksonville at 76, 74 Kenansville, 76 in Lumberton. Those mid-60s we saw earlier this week, long gone. Heat and humidity back in a big way, it looks like, for the rest of the day. And also, if you've got some outdoor plans, you're going to want to plan on some thunderstorm activity. Better chance of thunderstorms, though, probably on Sunday rather than Saturday. So if you have outdoor plans and you want to avoid rainfall, Saturday is probably going to be the better bet. But even Saturday afternoon, about a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, dropping to 20% on Saturday night. But Sunday afternoon, 40% chance of storms, 40% on Sunday night. And I also think some of the thunderstorms that we see on Sunday more capable of putting down some localized heavy rainfall. So I think Saturday is going to be the better day as far as outdoor activities. Both days will be very hot and humid with heat index values at or even above 100 degrees. Radar and satellite composite fairly quiet. Our hour-by-hour forecast model, look how quickly things warm up. 87 degrees by 10 a.m. and by 2 p.m. we'll be right around the 90-degree mark, and there are those widely scattered showers and thunderstorms developing as we head into the afternoon hours. So for the rest of today, 90 degrees your high, 30% chance of storms for today and tomorrow, 40% on Sunday, and much of next week. A front stall to our north. Widespread showers and thunderstorms with localized heavy rain. And for the weekend, a couple events going on. How about on Sunday, the carnivorous plant hike taking place at Carolina Beach State Park starting at 10 a.m. Now it's time to check the traffic with Caroline.
Thanks, Eric. Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. We finally made it to the end of the week here, and there are no issues to report on this morning if you're about to head out the door to work right now. So let's go ahead and take a live look outside. We're looking at 3rd and Dawson Street for you right now, and you can see open intersection. Nothing is standing in your way here if you're trying to head towards the downtown area, or if you're trying to go up the bridge or down the bridge. You should have no problems at all here. But we do want to warn you that starting at 8 Monday, Sloop Point Road, located east of Middle Point Road, located in Pender County, will be closed to drivers right here. It's also near NC 210 for you. So if you are traveling this way starting next week at 8 in the morning, try to plan an alternative route and avoid this area. This closure will last until August 22nd, which is Tuesday, and crews are replacing a pipe culvert along Sloop Point Road here. So please pack your patience and just plan an alternative route if you plan to travel along this area next week. And that's a look at your First Alert traffic.
First Alert Traffic is sponsored by Andrews Mortuary and Crematory. From simple cremation to traditional burial services, the Andrews family has proudly served the Wilmington community since 1850. Now, with the WECT mobile app, you'll never be without WECT News. From WECT.com to text and email alerts for breaking news and weather, WECT News. It's all right here in the palm of your hand.
Sponsored by your Honda dealer of the Carolinas. See what all the buzz is about during the Honda Summer Clearance event going on now.
I'm Bob Bonner in the Live Alert Center with news out of Pakistan, where the U.S. has ordered all non-essential staff to leave the consulate there. The State Department also warning American citizens not to travel to that country. The city of Lahore, where the consulate is located in the northeast part of the country near the border with India. It's unclear when that consulate will reopen. Now, the U.S. closed nearly 24 embassies and consulates earlier this month, this in a response to the terror threats in that region. Earlier this morning, gunmen killed 6, injuring at least a dozen more on an attack on a politician's vehicle. Bob?
All right, Bob, thanks very much. Looks like pretty nice weather, hot and humid for this weekend, which means a lot of people trying to find some relief down at the beaches. A state agency hoping that people maybe will pay a visit instead to one of their historic sites tomorrow, because it's the final day of the North Carolina Department of Cultural Resources Second Saturday program. That's the agency that sponsored special events at many locations already this summer, and 4 more will be held tomorrow, or at the 4 in our area, including the Battleship North Carolina, the Fort Fisher State Historic Site, the Maritime Museum in Southport, and Brunswicktown, Fort Anderson in Winnebago. Hope you'll join us tonight here on WECT. I'm going to tell you what each of those locations are planned for the big second Saturday day tomorrow. Kim.
All right, speaking of nice weather, the warm temperatures have been is bringing out all kinds of insects, and the buzz is the wasps are a little larger this year. Experts say our area is seeing more cicada killer wasps. They tell us the wasps kill other insects and live in the ground. But local horticultural expert Al Height says they won't sting humans unless you step on one or pick it up.
They aren't really a problem other than being a nuisance, and if you leave them alone, they'll leave you alone. The problem a lot of times for people is that they have small children or something in a play area. But the bottom line is the way they nest and all, there really isn't any way to control them with insecticides.
Al Height's with the New Hanover County Arboretum, and he says the wasps are normally around from July until September, and says that they are mostly out in the mornings and in the evening.
It's 6:16 time for your First Alert forecast. Flooding still a problem in parts of the southeast and also in Missouri. Even had to evacuate raging waters from a creek overflowing. Swept at least 4 mobile homes off their foundations. I think we got some video of this. Meanwhile, in Nashville, Tennessee, a lot of flash flooding. There we go. Vehicles up to their windshields left many streets closed to traffic. And in Benton, Arkansas, many roads and bridges were flooded, impassable. Benton County has been declared a disaster area. And this happens a lot of times in the summertime. You get the jet streams retreating well to the north. There's nothing really to steer thunderstorms along oftentimes, so they sit there and dump heavy amounts of rain. And this has been the result across much of the southeast and the Midwest. Now let's go and move on and take a look at our weather. A live view from the First Alert beach camera. And one thing we're noticing this morning, you can actually see real quickly here, if you look at kind of closely right here, we've got some towering cumulus clouds. We're looking off to the south right now, and there actually are some developing showers and a few thunderstorms right now across southern New Hanover and Brunswick County, and you'll definitely see those if you look off to the south. in New Hanover and Brunswick County, that is. Boating, fishing, and surf today. It looks like all day long, waves about knee-high, light chops, and really not a best time to surf. 20% chance of a pop-up shower or thunderstorm. Once again, probably a little higher thunderstorm chance as you move into the inland counties. South winds about 10 to 15 miles per hour along the coast. Obviously, another day to put the sunscreen on. SPF 30 or higher, UV index running at a 10, which is very, very high. Reapplied every couple of hours. Tide times along the coast. High tide 9:40 this morning at Southport. Low tide 3:50 p.m. And at Wrightsville Beach, your high tide 10 a.m., low tide at 4 p.m. Water temperatures running in the low 80s once again. And your beach forecast for today, we're going to top out at 87 at Holden Beach and Oak Island. 20% chance of a storm. Wrightsville Beach, Carolina Beach 88, and about 89 up at Surf City and Topsail Beach. Bob and Kim?
All right, getting pretty steamy out there at Battleship Park, and it's going to stay that way, I think, right through the weekend.
That's right. Time for the first annual Rib Fest is happening all weekend long right here in the Port City. Now, it's pulling in some of the best from the grillers across the country. They're called ribbers, I understand, if you're specialized in doing the rib competition. To tell us what else is in store for the weekend over at Battleship Park, part of Rib Fest, let's go to Lindsay Curtin right now. It's going to be a big weekend over that way, probably smelling great already. What do you say, Lindsay?
Bob, it smells incredible out here already, and it's yay o'clock in the morning. So, you know, come when this festival, when this fest opens at 11 this morning, people from across the river are going to smell all this rib, grilling, smoking, ribbon, whatever you call it. We have Ed here. He's with the Poor Piggies. He is going to be representing Wilmington during this cook-off. And look at this big papa. He's got this. He's got to go get his fan because it gets hot when you do all this, and you got to go get your secret sauce. So they're all getting geared up out here. He's going to go ahead and get some of these ribs out, and he's going to just kind of give us some tips as far as, you know, what it takes to be a winner and a thing like this. Look at that. So tell me what you're doing right now. You're wrapping it up, ready to go?
Pork butts, we double wrap them in plastic wrap, so they our all wood smoker over here.
And so you aren't gonna get to take a nap after doing these live reports. You're gonna be going all day. I mean, what does it take to get ready for a festival like this?
We've been prepping for this since Monday, and we spent all day yesterday setting up and got our kitchen set up, and then today we'll be here till midnight. And we have got a couple of different teams coming in, so it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun too.
Gotcha. Okay, so, and coming up a little bit later in the show, we're going to tell you all about the awards, the People's Choice, how, you know, the judging goes, what's gonna happen out here at the very first Port City Rib Fest. But for now, we're going to send it to break. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
You are watching WECT's Carolina in the Morning.
Welcome back. It is Pet of the Week time this morning, and we're happy to have Constantina with us.
Thank you for having us.
Sure. And what's this little guy?
This is Julian.
Julian,
yeah. I have brought him on the show before. He somebody was trying to adopt him, but it didn't work out. So he is still up for adoption. So we thought we'd brought him back and give him another try. He's also going to be at PetSmart tomorrow.
Oh,
between
good.
11:30 and around 3
so
or 4.
people can go check him out.
So go to PetSmart tomorrow, and he will be there. He's about 1.5 years old. He's neutered. He's up to date on his shots, heartworm negative, house trained. He knows commands. He's well behaved.
Hey, Julian.
He's just the cutest little dog.
He is really cute. Well, is he good with other animals? Is that why it didn't work out, or?
No, he's very good with other animals. I think it was the person that was adopting that had some issues. But but no,
maybe they couldn't keep him.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't with him.
So it's not his fault.
No, it's not his fault. But he's good with. I have birds and cats and dogs at my house, and he's fine with all of them.
Well, good.
So just fenced-in backyard if possible, but he's small enough, 20, 25 pounds.
Yeah.
You could live in an apartment and walk him.
What is he a mix of? Do we know?
We really don't know.
But you're a handsome.
Look at the camera, how pretty.
He really is. You really are a pretty dog, and just sweet as can be.
He's very sweet, pretty, well behaved.
He really is.
So hopefully tomorrow somebody will go by PetSmart and give him a good home.
That's right. Stop by PetSmart, or if you are just so anxious that you want to make sure you get Julian right now, you can call this phone number, 512 5047. We hope he gets adopted. Thanks, Constantine.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. All right, we've also got a list of some of the other sites where you can adopt a pet. Just go to WECT.com, click on the Carolina in the Morning page, and scroll down until you see the Pet of the Week icon.
All right, Kim, thanks very much, and Constantina as well. Listen, this next subject, our trending subject, Gary, gets something I have no idea. I've never been involved in being late for work.
No, never.
Yeah,
It's never
now
happened.
everybody here is gagging when they heard me say that because I'm always late for work. But you know, Conan O'Brien had a little staff member that was late for work, and he got the wrath from Conan.
Bet it never happens again.
Yeah, let's take a look
Office
here.
of Jordan Schlansky. He's an associate producer at the show. And it's come to my attention recently that on Fridays, for some reason, he doesn't come in until very late. It is now 12:20. No Jordan Schlansky. He's got a Kaiser roll in a bag, olive oil, his own mini specialized pepper grinder. Look at this. He's got a giant thing of Clorox wipes. Now, does this look like the office of someone who's afraid of germs?
I think I
got
can
two.
see a couple of desks right now that resemble that in our newsroom.
We do have a few, Bob. I think lesson learned from this. You think he'll be late again?
If you're going to be late for work, make sure you leave your area clean because Conan is going to point it out to you and sort of embarrass you a little bit there. All right, let's talk about that forecast for the weekend, Erica. So many people are going to be headed down trying to get going to the beach. School's getting ready to start in a couple of weeks. Those vacations are coming to an end, aren't they?
I know, it's hard to believe it. I think it's only, 2 weeks now until
about 2
school
weeks,
starts?
yeah.
So, last chance here to get those summer vacations in. It's taken a long time, but it looks like finally this weekend we're going to really see a real summer weekend with the full heat, the full humidity, and, thunderstorm chances as well. In fact, even a few thunderstorms right now as we take a live view from the First Alert beach camera off on the distance here in the south. We've seen a little bit of shower activity, particularly around Bald Head Island, some of that clipping Fort Fisher and Curie Beach as well. Those showers will move out pretty quickly, but more isolated thunderstorms are expected to develop later today. Bye-bye mid-60s. It's mid-70s this morning. In fact, upper 70s in Wilmington, 77 steamy, 75 in Fayetteville, and steamy conditions really across just about all of the Carolinas. Our hour-by-hour forecast, our travel forecast, it does show at least some isolated thunderstorms developing later today. If you happen to catch one, you could see some localized heavy rain. Most areas, however, will not be so lucky. And if you don't see any thunderstorm activity this afternoon, you will likely see heat index values very close to 100 this afternoon. 91 in Wallace, 90 degrees in Whiteville, about a 30% chance of one of those thunderstorms. Southwest winds around 8 to 12 miles per hour tonight. Muggy 73 in Wallace, 74 degrees in Whiteville. As we take a look at the First Alert planning forecast, it's going to stay hot through the weekend. Humidity levels even higher over the weekend, so heat index values at or even over 100 degrees. And look at next week. Scattered thunderstorms. A front's going to move in and stall just to our north. It's going to keep us hot. It's going to keep us humid. Lots of scattered to numerous showers and thunderstorms with localized heavy rain. Let's take a look at the Fish and Game forecast. Best time to head out this afternoon around 4:20.
In high definition, where news comes first. This is WECT's Carolina in the Morning.
It is 6:30 on this Friday morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm Bob Townsend.
And I'm Kim Ratcliffe. Happy to have you with us this morning and getting you ready for a sticky, steamy weekend. It's already pretty sticky and steamy out there right now, Eric.
Yeah, words we haven't been using a lot so far this summer. We haven't had the sticky and the steamy, but we've got plenty of it this morning. If you step outside, you will know it is sticky, steamy, and excuse me, some of those showers and thunderstorms are going to pop up this afternoon, and some of them could produce some localized heavy rain. Let's take a live view right now from the First Alert beach camera. And actually, as we look off to the south this morning, we've got Johnny Mercer's Pier here in the background. There are a few showers building in the southern portions of New Hanover County. We can check those out right now with the First Alert digital Doppler around Bald Head Island, Fort Fisher. A little bit of light rain right now, southern New Hanover and Brunswick County. I think these showers will end pretty quickly, and then we're going to see a better chance of isolated storms returning this afternoon. Heating up pretty quickly as we take a look at the WECT weather app. Temperatures rising from the upper 70s into the mid-80s already by 11 o'clock this morning. Don't forget your weather available anytime, hour by hour, the radar and our WECT weather webcast on our WECT weather app for iPhone or Android. We'll have the complete First Alert forecast coming up in a few moments.
All right, from looking at the numbers, Operation Tranquility is a success so far. According to the Wilmington Police Department, they're saying the number of shots fired has gone down since the initiative began back in July. So here are the numbers. In June of this year, they had 79 calls for shots fired. However, in July, the number of shots fired dropped to 45. It's also much lower than the number of calls in July of last year, which came out to 180. We also wanted to take a look at overall violent crimes over the past year. From June 2012 to June 2013, we found they were up 24%. The number in July was also higher, up 5%. But the department says that's mainly due to robberies. Chief Ralph Evangelist says they're not done just yet.
We won't sit back and allow these hoodlums to take these streets over. We will put them in jail and we will put them in prison, because we will not live under the cloud of fear by these hoodlums who are out there firing indiscriminately, really for no reason.
Now, despite the recent decrease in shots fired, the chief says there is still more to be done, explaining there are several, quote, main players that need to be taken off the streets before the crimes decrease for the long term.
Kim, this morning, an unbelievable crime to tell you about coming out of Miami, Florida. A man reportedly admitted to killing his wife and then posting a picture of her body on Facebook. Police are saying that Derry Medina turned himself in after claiming to have shot and killed his wife, Jennifer. They also say he confessed to the murder on Facebook, telling his friends that he was going to prison or getting the death sentence for the murder.
A soldier from North Carolina injured in the Fort Hood shooting faced an accuser in the courtroom. Nidal Hassan is the Army major who opened fire at a medical clinic on the base in 2009. The attack killed 13 people and injured 32 others, including specialist Matthew Cook. Doctors amputated his leg and he's faced years of physical therapy and rehab. Cook testified against his attacker in court yesterday. Specialist Cook's sister told us why it's so important that he faced Hassan in the courtroom.
It's hard to explain. I mean, I never thought I would be in that kind of situation, you know. It's still unbelievable that my brother was even shot the way that he was, but I'm glad it's over. I know he's glad it's over.
Christina Cook traveled to Fort Hood to be in the courtroom during Hassan's trial. Carolina Beach native Kim Munley is also among those wounded in that deadly shooting. Hassan is acting as his own attorney and chose not to question any of the soldiers who testified against him.
Well, back here in the Tar Heel State fighting for food, state leaders now defending the new North Carolina FAST program. This caused a lot of delays for many people who depend on getting food stamp assistance. Our Ashley Kosakowski talked with Ricky Diaz, who is the spokesperson for the state's Department of Health and Human Services. And in that 13-minute interview, Diaz used the phrase learning curve 11 times when talking about transitioning local counties to NC FAST.
So it sounds to me in a very PC way, you guys are pointing the finger at counties.
That's not the case at all. Like I said, it's a partnership, and the state is sending on-site support staff to make sure that we are providing the support necessary to counties that's needed to make sure, again, we're moving towards achieving our goal, which is updating, bringing our IT systems into the 21st century.
And now we're being told that the local food banks in the area are running low on food supplies. The spokesperson for the Department of Health and Human Services saying the new paperless program is a huge change. Officials now working with the County Department of Social Service staffers trying to fully implement the program.
And this morning we're learning the number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits is at its lowest level in almost 6 years. This month's average dropped significantly, suggesting fewer people are being laid off. Applications since the beginning of the year have fallen more than 10% overall, and it's not surprising since job growth has been up since January. Looking ahead, President Obama is expected to sign a bill to cut down interest rates on student loans. The plan ties the rate to the country's financial markets, which means lower interest in the short term. The president will sign the bill in the Oval Office in the afternoon. Mr. Obama will hold a news conference in the East Room of the White House. It'll be the first time he's spoken publicly since canceling a one-on-one meeting with Russia's president. For a closer look, let's check in with NBC's Tracy Potts. She's on Capitol Hill.
Guys, I'm going to be having a press conference tomorrow, so Why don't you ask that question tomorrow?
Today's the day, and analysts expect President Obama to make the most of it.
The Republicans and everybody on Capitol Hill have already gone. They're out of session, so he really has the field to himself. He can dominate the headlines over the next couple of days.
We have a lot of fish to fry, if you will, with the Russians.
He's expected to address unrest in Egypt and Syria, the terror threat. A new consulate closes today in Pakistan that makes 20 posts in all. And Russia's decision to grant temporary asylum to NSA leaker Edward Snowden. That and other issues prompted the president to cancel his trip to Moscow.
Given that ultimately Russia chose to give him asylum about a month before the summit was scheduled, I think the administration felt it just had no choice.
Also later this morning, Secretary of State John Kerry meets with his Russian counterpart in Washington.
We have much discussed with the Russians, including cooperation on Afghanistan, Iran, North Korea, and also working through disagreements on issues like missile defense, arms control, and human rights.
The world's two greatest superpowers at odds, and as of now, not even talking. And while the summit is off, the White House says President Obama may meet with President Putin at the G20 summit in Russia next month. Tracy Potts, NBC News, Washington.
All right, Tracy, I'm Bob Bonner back in the Live Alert Center, continuing coverage of the extortion case involving Paula Deen, a New York man charged with trying to extort money from the celebrity cook, scheduled to appear before a federal judge today to change his plea. Thomas George Pasoulis pleaded not guilty during his last hearing in July. Court records, though filed last week, say he has signed a plea agreement with prosecutors. The details have not yet been released. Authorities say Pasoulis contacted Dean's attorney, threatening to reveal damaging statements unless she paid him $200,000. Now, that threat happened after documents became public that show Dean acknowledged using racial slurs in the past. Eric?
All right, time to check out your First Alert forecast. Little bit of activity right now on the First Alert digital Doppler, southern Brunswick and southern New Hanover County. A little shower activity we've been seeing, especially around Bald Head Island here over the last hour. Much of the area is dry, although we do expect some isolated or widely scattered showers and thunderstorms to pop up here as we head into the afternoon hours. Right now, most of the action you can see on Bald Head Island, and another little shower it looks like developing just to the west of Southport. So it looks like maybe over the next hour or two we might see a little bit of activity here as well. The other weather headline this morning has to be the temperatures. They are running in the mid-70s right now. 75 in Clarkton. We've got 75 in the Turnbull Creek, 76 in Lumberton. A far cry from the temperatures that we saw earlier this week. You'll recall a couple of days ago we were talking about temperatures in the low and mid-60s. Well, it's back to full heat and humidity right now, especially Brunswick County. 80 at Sunset Harbor, Ocean Crest Pier, 81 degrees, 78 Boiling Spring Lakes. One word for that: steamy. 77 in Ogden, 77 at the airport, 76 degrees in downtown Wilmington. Wallace at 74. Even off to the north, not much relief this morning, and 78 degrees currently in Jacksonville. As we take a look at our rain forecast for the rest of today, we're going to keep a 10% chance of a shower in the forecast around 8 a.m., but your better bet for isolated thunderstorms will be during the afternoon hours with the peak heating. We'll put that thunderstorm chance at about 30% around 4 o'clock this afternoon. You can see the showers developing offshore, but still the bulk of the action off to our north and west. Our hour-by-hour forecast model, look how quickly we warm up. 87 degrees by 11 o'clock this morning, and here come the isolated thunderstorms popping up as we head into the afternoon hours. So here's our forecast: 90 degrees for today, heat index at or near 100, especially as we head into the weekend. Thunderstorm chances ramping up, and this is the reason why a front is going to stall for much of next week just off to our north. It's going to stay hot, it's going to stay humid, and there are going to be a lot of thunderstorms around for much of next week. Now let's check out the traffic with Caroline.
Thanks, Eric. Well, on this Friday morning, there are no accidents to report or any problems for you right now. And you can see what I'm talking about here as we look at our traffic cam, looking at 3rd and Campbell Street, North 3rd Street, that is in downtown Wilmington. You can see everything's looking great. Open roads for you there. No problems off if you're trying to head towards downtown for work. But we do want to remind you that if you plan to head down there tonight for the Downtown Sundown concert, the concert will be held at the Old Wachovia parking lot located at the corner of Princess and Water Street. So keep that in mind if you're trying to go out to have some fun there. Also happening today, production crews continue to film scenes for the new Fox series Sleepy Hollow. Crews will be filming on the 100 block of North 15th Street from 2 this afternoon to 4 tomorrow morning. This area will be closed to drivers, so plan for delays there. And that's a look at your Friday First Alert traffic.
First Alert traffic is sponsored by Andrews Mortuary and Crematory. From simple cremation to traditional burial services, the Andrews family has proudly served the Wilmington community since 1850. Now, with the WECT mobile app, you'll never be without WECT News. From WECT.com to text and email alerts for breaking news and weather. WECT News. It's all right here in the palm of your hand. Sponsored by Bojangles. It's bow time at Bojangles. Hurry in now for any of our 4 signature freshly made chicken sandwiches on a toasted butter bun. Bojangles. It's bow time.
Good morning, I'm Lindsay Curtin, live out here in Battleship Park, talking about the very first Port City Rib Fest. I'm having a great time. And you know, some ribbers from across the country really are gonna be coming here to show off their best smoking talents. There's gonna be water slides, camel rides, bluegrass music, everything you can imagine. I'm here with Paige Snow, one of the founders, and I wanted to ask you just the magnitude of this all. You said it's a pretty big deal that this is coming here.
You know, we've actually got 10 ribbers from across the nation. We're representing 7 different states. These guys are, I mean, winning the world championships, best nugget of the West, world's largest rib cook-offs. Those guys are here. That's the Texas Outlaws out of Kentucky. Texas Pitmasters are here. Pigfoot out of Ohio. These guys are coming from Georgia. It's huge coming to Wilmington.
Exactly, represent Kentucky right here, yes. My hometown. And now you said it's not just, you know, food and amazing food, it's everything. We have stuff for the kids, we have music all weekend long. It starts today at 11, by the way.
That's right. You know, the main attraction is it's a foodie event. But what's going to make everything fun is we have the whole kids section, everything for the kids, rock climbing walls, the camel rides that you mentioned, gem mining, a Jurassic Adventure Park, and then we have the adult fun. We got the Trey Herring's Carolina Bourbon Saloon with Can Girls. We also have the big stage with national touring acts like Larry Kill, the founder of Newgrass Bluegrass Music, and also Earfunk tonight out of New Orleans. And at the same time, we have local heroes like the No Dollar Shoes, L-Shaped Lot, Mac and Juice.
Pretty much everything for everyone.
Absolutely.
It's very impressive out here.
It's going to be a fun time. We're going till midnight. Come out and have a great time with us.
Yes, and I thank you for your time, Paige. I appreciate it. We have all this information on our website for you, WECT.com. All the details of where to park, how much it costs, that kind of thing. And also there will be a water taxi service and a shuttle bus, so everyone is sure to get back to their home destination safely. Reporting live in Wilmington, I'm Lindsay Curtin. Back to you.
All right, warm and humid conditions right now as we take a look at the temperatures across the area. A far cry from the 60s earlier this week. 77 now in Wilmington, 76 in Jacksonville. Better get used to the hot and muggy conditions. They are going to be around, it looks like, for a while. A couple of showers in the last hour clipping southern New Hanover and Brunswick County, particularly around Southport and Bald Head Island. And in addition to the hot and humid conditions, it looks like rainfall chances increasing in the days ahead. We are certainly going to have the potential for some scattered thunderstorms, although heavier rainfall totals likely in central and western North Carolina. Isolated storms 90 degrees, but remember, with the high humidity, the heat index near 100, southwest wind 5 to 12 miles per hour. Any storms that develop quickly falling apart tonight, mostly clear 75. More of the same tomorrow, 90, with isolated thunderstorms, some with localized heavy rain. Bob?
All right, Eric, we're back in the Live Alert Center looking ahead to later this evening. But on the baseball diamond, the Wilmington Sharks battling for their playoff lives later tonight. Last night, the Peninsula Pilots, even the best-of-3 series at a game apiece. They took last night's 6-2, so Game 3 tonight. Also at Peninsula, they're the 2 seed, Sharks the 3. Sharks 2-3 games against the Pilots this season. Must win tonight to reach the second round of the Pettit Cup. The Sharks looking to advance out of the first round for the second time in 3 years. Now the winner tonight's game facing the Edenton-Fayetteville winner in round 2. That series also extended to 3 games. Bob?
All right, go Sharks. How about that? Bob, thanks very much. Right now, 10 away from the top of the hour, a well-known North Carolinian later this year will be getting a very prestigious honor and award.
That's right. Coach Dean Smith will be receiving the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Former President Bill Clinton and Oprah Winfrey also among the recipients.
Now, the awards will be presented at the White House later on this year. The late Hawaiian Senator Daniel Inouye and astronaut Sally Ride will be also receiving the award. Of course, both of those have passed away.
This year marks the 50th anniversary of President John F. Kennedy establishing that medal. All right, Carolina in the morning, more news, weather still to come. Stay with us. We're about 9 minutes away from 7 o'clock right now.
First Alert Traffic is sponsored by Andrews Mortuary and Crematory. From simple cremation to traditional burial services, the Andrews family has proudly served the Wilmington community since 1850.
And welcome back to Carolina in the Morning on this Friday morning. Right now, the time is 6:53.
The weekend officially here. Eric will have more on a much warmer forecast in just a few minutes. Lindsay has details on the first ever Rib Fest in the area. First, though, let's take a look at the roads right now with First Alert traffic reporter Caroline Waldrop. Hopefully starting off on a good note.
Well, Kim, I just got word about a wreck on Oleander Drive and South College Road. Right now, no word on the conditions at this time, but you can see it here on our traffic cam. We have a First Alert traffic cam in this area. EMS, fire are on scene. They just got on scene. Again, no word on injuries. We do know it's involving more than 2 cars, and you can see it's blocking the turning lane right by Trader Joe's. So avoid the area if you can at this time. We'll be sure to update you with the latest as soon as we get word. For now, that's a look at your First Alert traffic.
Well, good morning. I'm Lindsay Curtin, live out here at Battleship Park, the site of the very first Port City Rib Fest. Ribbers from across the country are coming right here to Wilmington to show off their smoking talents. The event starts today at 11 in the morning. We have all the details for you on our website, WECT.com, if you'd like to attend this weekend.
And here's a look at some of the top stories we're following. New information on the case of a missing teen from Rowan County. Erica Parsons was reported missing last week, but she hasn't been seen in 2 years. Her adoptive parents say she's not missing, but with her paternal grandmother. However, the girl's birth mother says the grandmother has been dead for 5 years. The FBI is now investigating.
President Obama expected to be signing a bill today that's going to cut down on the interest rates on student loans. The plan ties the rate to the country's financial markets, which means lower interest rates in the short term, but fluctuating later on. The president will sign the bill in the Oval Office. The president also scheduled to hold a news conference in the East Room of the White House later today. This will be the first time he's spoken publicly since canceling that one-on-one meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
A man in Florida has reportedly admitted to killing his wife and posting a picture of her body on Facebook. Police say Derek Medina turned himself in after claiming he shot and killed his wife. They also say that he confessed to the murder on Facebook.
All right, one last look at your First Alert forecast. Been tracking a few showers this morning. Southern New Hanover and southern Brunswick County, Bald Head Island, Fort Fisher, Southport seeing a little bit of shower activity in the last hour or so. Most of that seems to be winding down right now. More thunderstorms will develop as we head through the day. But the real story is going to be the heat. Temperatures warming up to 90 degrees, but much higher humidity. Heat index values near 100 degrees. You can see some of those widely scattered storms this afternoon quickly falling apart overnight tonight. And I think your Saturday forecast is going to look a lot like your forecast today. Now, as we head into the extended forecast, better opportunities for showers and thunderstorms ramping up as a front stalls out over the area much of next week. Could be very wet and unsettled.
All right, thanks, Eric. Thanks for watching this morning. Stay tuned for the Today Show here on WECT. More Carolina in the Morning on Fox Wilmington.